Hello and welcome back to Kaiserreich. I'm going to jump right into it. We're going to do military factories, munition factories, and armories are reporting a large loss of stock to theft as well as difficulty competing with foreign competition. We can fix this first without infringing on the Second Amendment with a tariff on imported arms. And, let's see, free civilian factories. We probably don't need to build any more military factories, honestly. Let's just keep building up the navy until we can't build any more dockyards. I want to get our political power up so that we can do a justification for a war against Panama, so we can take Panama and get free range, or like free passage through here. That's going to be strategically important for our nation in the long term. That's one of my goals that I'm setting myself, and also getting some island holdings, I think, is going to be one of our goals. Other than, of course, the Republic of Australia, of Australasia, sorry. And then we're going to, I believe, maybe go for Japan, while they are busy in their Chinese adventures. Let's build out the radar installations first, though, wherever it is relevant. And let's see, let's build a port out here by Alaska. Atu Island is a good place for us to use as a springboard for Japan. Still need a lot more ships before we can really say that we're ready for a war with Japan, though. Middle Africa declared war on Kikuland. So yeah, Middle Africa, Kingdom of France, and then Kikuland. They might be able to take a lot of territory right now because of that. Of course, the Russians. We did get another Marine, which is going to... Let's train them, because we're not going to be sending them in quite yet anyways. So we may as well, and now we can start, I think, justifying war, right? Panama, no, one more political power, let's wait one more day, there we go. That's going to put us at war with Colombia as well, so we need to have an army ready to ship out, which we do have, whenever we actually land in Panama, because we've got to send troops into Colombia quickly and try to take as much territory as we can, as fast as possible, before the enemy entrench themselves in the mountains. Motorized. Let's train. I don't know where we're gonna send them. Honestly, no clue. Might, yeah, actually, I have no clue. Maybe if we get involved in any of this stuff. Is the Far Eastern Republic, is that Japanese? It is not, so I actually don't know where to use them. Colombia has this, like, plateau over here, Meta and Cacada, whatever it's called. Cacada. I don't know. But those places aren't going to be all that relevant because the victory points are further northwest. Rocket sites, probably not all that useful or relevant. Still is a little bit strange that they have that symbol, but I guess technically they're like, I don't know, kind of affiliated with the United Kingdom, who are our puppet. I'm not 100% sure how I would, like, envision a UK puppet regime under the United States. Like, kind of, I don't know, we've infiltrated their parliamentary system, I guess? I don't know. Increased military spending, factory output, political power gain. I don't want to reduce the political power gain, actually, so... But I'll go with this one, just for the research bonus. We don't have much left there. We have this and this stuff. Let's see, decisions available. Yeah, let's rebuild. Rebuild Puerto Rico and then Alaska as well. Fall of Kiev. The Russians are pushing further into German or Reichspact territory. The Reichspact is very, very, very formidable, though. It's actually kind of interesting. So the Germans, hands down, won the war, of course. But we're going to go into, like, post-war, we're going to end up in a very special or very interesting situation with a with potential, like, Cold War flashpoints in South America, and of course with Cuba, which is a Reichspact puppet, or Reichspact ally. And we're going to have situations possibly in Africa, with decolonization of Middle Africa, kind of like in the real world. And we're going to have Asia, with the German East Asia and their interest in Qing, as well as our interest in the Pacific, and with, you know, projecting our power through the Pacific, through the Republic of Australasia. Let's see. Boreal Rangers, why not? Train them as well. Don't need to be raiding over here anymore. Literally no point. Canadians have fallen to us, so why don't we raid down here? So we have completely cut off Colombia and Panama. Let's see, we're going to send, I think, more destroyers and more light cruisers, as well as... What's the big ship here? Heavy carrier. We can send another carrier without it getting overcrowded. Right? Yeah, we'll send the Destiny as well, and we'll send some more cruisers and a bunch more destroyers. I generally like to split the fleets up even more, but we don't really have that many ships anyway, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it in, keep everything in like very confined and very concentrated fleets, because that, I think, helps ensure that the fleets all encounter the enemy at once and they don't have to like all group up, which I think is a better approach if you have a very large fleet, like spreading it out. Because you have a higher chance that you're going to get enough troops in to, or get them in place for the actual war, or for the actual battle, rather, when you need them, when you have a larger fleet. Yeah, I'll get more party support, gets us more political power. Alright, never mind. Kikuland got absolutely destroyed. That's a lot different from what I saw in the CSA playthrough. Let's get rid of this, and let's get rid of this, and let's have a look at what our supply situation is like here. Medium tank still, medium SPG. We're going to move to modern tank at some point. Medium tank, yeah, it's slowly getting there. $1.30 years until modern tank. Oh yeah. Heavy fixed fortifications proved difficult for other Union State armored vehicles to overcome. The M1052 was built specifically for the destruction of fortifications and armor capable of withstanding direct hits from large stationary guns. While slow, the vehicle's 105mm cannon proved adequate against structures and soft targets alike. That is a fucking artillery gun. Well, artillery cannon. It looks like, yeah. That's also 105mm. Yeah, everything here uses 105mm. Interesting. It just looks different than the other one. Though, that being said, the sort of the equipment and the lore behind the equipment in Kaiserreich has never really made much sense. A lot of people complain about that. Not that I can necessarily speak to specifics. Let's reduce... Actually, no, let's stop making medium tank divisions. We want to get a stockpile before we keep doing that. Advanced cruiser hull. We'll... see, cruisers. 1, 1, and 1. Just give them everything that's like all the best equipment. That's a... what kind of gun is that? Huh. Interesting. It doesn't look like this medium battery. Might have been because I set the armor to something else. I don't know. Heavy cruiser battery, yeah. Well, it doesn't reduce the speed all that much, so may as well. Not gonna bother with that. We don't need anti-submarine warfare. I'll strap on some torpedoes, and we'll call this one the... so we've got the Montgomery class. How about calling this one... as Robinson, and that's Montgomery. No, that's Halsey. Well, actually, let's call this the Halsey class. There we go. And let's remove the Montgomery class as a current design. Like, retire the design, rather, and... looking at 20 more days. Office of Policy Coordination is done. Let's do National Labor... actually, no. Let's do Control the Boy Scouts. I want to get this stuff. Continue to recover and stuff. Continue with the marine research, since we're going to be using them quite a lot if we are planning on war with Japan. We'll find out how the world looks and how we feel after we take Colombia and Panama. If we do get an opportunity to drop a nuke in Colombia, then I will do so and call it that. Like, basically say that that is going to be sort of the capstone for the campaign. If we don't, then of course we will need another war. I feel like we need to use the nuke. We need to demonstrate our capabilities to the Germans. Yeah, 128 days until the nuclear reactors. We're not going to be able to drop the nuke on Panama. That's not going to be realistic. The problem is that we won't have much to do, honestly, until we get the nukes before we start fighting Japan for real. Like, we're going to need the fleet, we're going to need the nukes before we get into that tussle. What we can do is that in the future, when we start thinking about taking out Japan, I can record, or I can play a bit off camera and then start the recording whenever something interesting happens. It's something I've done in the past a little bit with our Norway campaign before I lost the save for that. That campaign went into like 1952 or something, I think. Right, declare war. And of course I forgot to call in the Allies, but we'll call Jamaica because we need to call them in order to invade. There we go. And in fact, let's set these guys to aid in a naval invasion. And we'll get the Republican Guard to stand at the ready to ship in if we need them to. We won't need them, I think, until we start reaching the border of Colombia. God, this is so fast. Oh, that's bad. Okay, so we want to take that airport so we can get air support. And then use the rest. Oh, actually, there's an airport here as well, which we'll take. Let's see, research slots, super bazooka, or... I'm just gonna get this ahead of time a little bit. 47 days only. We're fighting. Possibly. Nothing has been sunk. Panama's capitulated. Very awesome. Very cool, very legal. Let's get all our troops ready to push into Colombia. We probably will be able to do this exclusively with Marines, I think. Actually no, the Colombians have a lot of troops. Let's ship in the army. Hold on. There we go. I'm just gonna expand those a little bit and expand the infrastructure so that we can ship supplies to the Colombian heartlands. Oh god. It's a lot of troops. But a lot of nothing happening as well. We're counterattacking though, which is good. Since they attacked us, they were moving, losing organization, and then attacked us, losing organization, then we were counterattacking, which makes them lose even more organization. So they're in a very, very, very precarious position. Which works extremely to our advantage. Let's get going towards the jets. Again, ahead of time does not really care, or it does not really bother me all that much at the moment. A partial recovery with advancing recovery, yes. Red Scare, the FBI has announced that after many months of searching for President Long, he can no longer be presumed alive. The uproar against any socialist groups remaining in America is enormous. The World Powers Committee can barely keep up with all the state laws being passed to stop socialism. Public approval from Mosley is at an all-time high. Indeed it is. Oh, actually, we pushed in. Pushed through. Let's take half of these guys and go for there, and half of them for Medellin. Oh, never mind. That's not gonna work. We'll hold here then. Till the rest of the reinforcements arrive. Let's keep making dreadnoughts. Let's see, free military factories. I have literally no clue what to use them on. We need more, more bullshit tech to use them on. Like, we need more, we need to get mechanized, I think, and we need to get the super heavy so we can start building that. Just to have something to spend all this industry on. This is truly the military-industrial complex where we have to actually do R&D so that we can actually use our industry. Like, we need an excuse to spend money. More men. Too many men.
Yes, sir.
Honestly, I'm hoping that we could in theory get the Japanese into, like, not now because the Japanese are in their own faction, but, like, if we're to imagine that this would go past the time span of the game, I'm imagining a possible future in which the Japanese and the US work together, because the Japanese don't have a lot of oil, right? A lot of their like major geopolitical dilemmas revolve around the lack of oil and their lack of good steel, and because of that, an alliance with the United States, a United States who wishes to aid in their sort of push into northern Asia, if the US gets to keep Southeast Asia and all that, that might be very, very beneficial, like to both sides, mutually beneficial. I'm sort of imagining or hoping that that would be a possibility as the, you know, the world, or for the world, post our campaign. That way we won't have to fight the Japanese, if that would make sense. Let's have a look at their ideology. They are national populist, Tohokai. Are they the supremacists? Showa Restoration. I can't read about the Yokuseha faction, so I can't actually see what they're doing, but separation of powers, free market, national R&D. Yeah, this is interesting. They're Showa, so they've got Emperor Hirohito and all that, with the kind of historical path there. I think this is the really bad one. I don't know. Honestly, not sure. I'm gonna get the half-track car so we can use our industry on something. We have far too much industrial capacity. Let's see, let's get rid of the Marines on this line. And let's set them up to, set them up for an encirclement, maybe. Like that. Because they get a bonus for crossing rivers and stuff. We are starting to spend more guns than we're producing, I think. Yep, we are. Which is kind of okay, because we are producing a lot of them. Red Scare is done. Traditional values, please. It's honestly not even funny how, like, immensely dominant we are in terms of industry and everything. Let's see, what can we do? Because, like, we have total air superiority, so how? Let's see, we gotta just exploit it, I guess. Where are the men we've sent here? We've sent these guys. They don't have fighters assigned to them, so I'm gonna assign fighters. And then I still hate this interface. It's so small. I wish it was a lot bigger. It's designed for you to have like 5 different variants or whatever, but you end up with 1 million as you occupy and and like capture equipment. So you get this like absurd number of different models, and it becomes a massive hassle to scroll through. Collapse of the Japanese Empire. Kingdom of Hawaii has joined the Reichspakt. Well, guess that idea goes right out the fucking window. So we're not going to take Hawaii because that involves fighting Germany, and that involves extending this the playthrough of this campaign until 1958 or some shit. Collapse of the Japanese Empire. In an astounding reversal of fortunes, the Japanese Empire has been defeated, and today announced a treaty ceding its mainland possessions in Manchuria as well as nearby imperial colonies. With its military strength shattered and the home islands themselves now threatened, the Empire has bowed to the inevitable, and terms have been reached with their foes in Dairen. Only a few short years ago, the Chrysanthemum throne was viewed as the preeminent power in East Asia, even in the face of the Reich. All that has changed, however, and the balance of power in the region has changed decisively. Though the future of Asia remains uncertain, it seems the freedom from Japanese rule has finally become a reality for the people of the mainland. The sun is fading. As I like to say, the sun sets on the Japanese Empire. Alright, so we have to push them out of this tile before we can start trying to, or start doubling down on them. Because there is a port. Wait, no, the port is there. Hold on, fuck. We gotta take this tile because the port is there. So we have to keep them in this tile. Oops, that's my bad. I just bumped the pop filter. Easy mistake to do, or to make. Oh, dude, super heavy SP artillery. Hell yeah, dude. Let's also make the super heavy tank. That is a massive encirclement. So now that it seems like a war with Japan is not going to happen, I'm just going to say I'm not going to fight the Germans during the course of this campaign, this playlist rather. However, I think that this is probably going to be the final episode, and with it, I'm going to shelve this save. I will not delete it. It's going to go into the backup Google Drive where I keep all my save games. And in the future, if we would like to, if there is an opportunity to for that, I can do a total war, like not the game, but a playthrough in which we basically engage in total war against the Reichspakt. I'm thinking I would play a couple of years ahead of time, like 2 years, and then start the playthrough from like 1946, in which we have to fight basically all of this shit. And basically I would set up the invasion plan, set up all the, you know, the bullshit that we need before a war, and then trigger it all at the beginning of the session, or the beginning of the series, and be like, you know, here starts the... Guess it would kind of be like Weltkrieg 3. The third Weltkrieg. I also don't know what it would be called, but I would probably need a name if I was going to do that playthrough. But I'm thinking of doing that sometime in the future, when there's room for it, because right now I'm like kind of extremely busy and stressed. So I've you've seen the dip in videos, so I'm trying to cut down on the playthrough so I can open up slots for other content. Attention. Which is probably going to be more history focused, like more actually, you know, teaching history and stuff instead of just playing history video games. I'm thinking of making videos that are all about like how Hearthstone 4 represents history, and that would be kind of cool. But yeah, so after the collapse of Colombia, after we have solidified our grasp on... Serbia's capitulated, okay. After we've solidified our grasp on... Oh yeah, finally. Our grasp on Middle America, we are going to... Or Central America. We're going to call the episode. Or sorry, call the episode and call the series. Listen up. Let's send our Marines to wherever we're going to station them. Probably Actually, let's send them to Florida with invasion plans for Havana. Not that we're going to do that, but it makes sense to have that ready to go in case the Germans start some bullshit. Like, for example, a Cuban Missile Crisis. But, you know, a bit earlier and with the Germans instead of the Russians. Actually, this isn't going to happen for a while, so this might be our Vietnam. Colombia might be America's Vietnam here. You know, a war that takes forever, where very little is gained, and with gruesome incompetence and corruption on all sides. I think I actually kind of like that idea. Republic without democracy. That's going to be the full completion of the business plot focus tree. We haven't finished reconstruction, which we can probably do quite fast. That might have to be... So, we might be able to do another episode, but I'm not quite sure. This might be the final episode. And then I could do another episode where I talk about the series and, you know, how I think the world will end up. I won't do like the sort of structured video that I had planned for Finland campaign, because I lost all the footage that I was making when I was recording that in my hard drive failure, and now I've lost, you know, access to the editing footage or editing software that I was using. So I've been trying to teach myself to use other editing software, and you know, editing is a skill that one must learn, and one that I'm finding that I'm learning very slowly. But yeah, I think after this episode, maybe I'll make another video that talks about how this world might look. Talks about, you know, events that I would imagine would happen over the course of this, the next couple of years of history and such, after the playthrough is over, and that will be the finale. Other than that, I want to say thank you for sticking with me through this playthrough. I want to say thank you for watching this video and, you know, all the other videos. I want to say special thanks, of course, to patrons and people who support me financially. Of course, if you like this video, if you like the series, there are plenty of others to check out, and also I encourage you to check me out on social media, following the links in the description down below. I also want to, you know, as we end, I want to take you to a schwanky new screen I've set up, where I'm saying a special thanks to all of my patrons. And that's about it. Thank you, and goodbye.